I've been a therapist the last 10 years. I've worked with a lot of clients. There's a pattern that comes up over and over and over again. I see it all the time, and yet people ignore this, and it causes them so much pain. It keeps them in therapy longer than they intended to, and it's so obvious how to address this. One of the big issues that people have is they gravitate to people that are clearly walking red flags on two legs. For some reason, they get this self-deception or self-delusion that they're going to change somebody who's had an embedded pattern of behavior and coping for such a long time that they're going to be some sort of miraculous catalyst in their life for that person to get their act together. And more often than not, it doesn't happen. They actually get pulled into that person's bad habits. It actually affects their mental health, their physical health, their emotional well-being, sometimes even financially. Sometimes it can even lead to getting caught up with the police, court, all these other added extras that come because you were looking at something and not really seeing it. You weren't seeing the version of the person that was in front of you. You were creating a fantasy and a projection of who they could be if they just chose to love you, if they just chose to respect you. And the thing is, we have to see the whole person that's there. If a person has very clear issues with alcohol, substances, they're out partying 3-4 nights a week, they're surrounding themselves in environments that you yourself wouldn't be in, why would you want that person auditioning to be a part of your life? Why would you be hoping that that person is going to choose you as a partner? What is that actually going to do to your sense of self over a period of time? Because you're opting into that chaos. This is something you're consciously choosing when you choose to ignore that this is this person's lifestyle. When this is how this person takes care of themselves or how they regulate what's going on, is by going out and getting loaded and getting into all these situations that cause drama, heartache, pain, where there's potential cheating, potential drug issues, potential volatility that can come off the back of that, and you're choosing that as a partner. And that's before you even look at their friend group, before you start to look at another very obvious red flag that people overlook, the company that the person keeps. If this person runs around with scumbags, if this person runs around with very dangerous individuals that you yourself wouldn't want to be seen with, that you yourself wouldn't want to be associated with, that you yourself, that's a nutshell, you just wouldn't want to be near them, why would you want a partner where that's the norm for them? Because they're going to influence the person, they're going to influence the spaces that they move in. There's going to be certain behaviors that are normalized because of that environment. And this is the thing, you're consciously choosing that. That is something that you can audit in the people that you're meeting. It's something that you need to be aware of, is the people, places, spaces, and the company that that person keeps, because that is going to be something you're going to have to deal with if the relationship becomes more serious going forward. These are things that you can control. And I think it's not too much to be able to take a wee bit of time, look at the whole person, see the difference between who they say they are and who they actually are, how they choose to behave, the consistency of their actions, and the impact that that has on you as a person. If that person has issues with substances, alcohol, consistency, or their track record with relationships has been absolutely appalling, or there's some other very, very visibly disrespectful things that they're doing off the get-go, comparing you to people, all their ex-partners are mentally unstable or obsessed or jealous or whatever the issue is. If you see all these clear red flags and you're like, I'm going to make that person change, I can be the one, you're choosing your own suffering in that situation, because it's very likely there's something resonating with you that's operating at that level of chaos, and that is something you need to be able to unpack and take a step back from. Chemistry is not always chemistry. Sometimes it's trauma compatibility. Sometimes it's that projection landing with that other person, and the universe is about to give you another lesson. You're about to be the crash test dummy, and you have to look at your part within that dance and take a step back. But in your adult relationships, if you're in this season in your life now, you have to be much more consciously aware of what you're choosing and not going blindfolded and cartwheeling into another relationship that's going to cause you a massive amount of pain, hurt, instability, trauma. Like, you have to look at this person and think, is this person going to add to my quality of life from a place of peace, love, respect, or am I just auditioning this absolute headbanger to come into my life and hope that it's going to be easy going, because it's not going to be the case. Those are things that you can control.